The rock wall wraps all the way around here, and the reason for this rock wall is because this is one of the most exposed bays on Waiheke. What they're doing at the moment is they're pile driving. There's a barge that has a crane on it that they use to move things back and forth. And that's the one that they use to drive the piles from. And then on this side of the breakwater is going to be a floating car park and a marina that's using technology that's actually never been used before in Aotearoa. The rock wall here is what we call a refugee camp because of the development on Waiheke, because of the amount of dogs and predators on the island. This is the safest place that kororā they've found to live. It's a breeding colony at the moment, and works are still continuing. Got these big plastic polythene buoys here that weigh between 20 to 30 kilograms each. And a little blue penguin or a kororā weighs between, it's around about 1 to 1.5 kilograms. The buoys are a real hazard to the kororā because they're actually got super thick, heavy chain. What we call the manutaki, or the lead bird, has been going underneath the buoys and venturing out into the construction zone, but the majority of the kororā have been using this, what we call the kororā Olympic swimming lane. So they actually stay within this lane to enter out into open water to go and forage and go out for the day or the week, or they can go out for up to 2 weeks. Most of them go between the buoys and the rock wall, but we have seen them occasionally go underneath. So they're essentially completely stuck in this area unless they're brave enough to and confident enough to swim out into that area. Any kororā, and there's a significant amount of kororā that live in that stretch over there, that would be wanting to leave their sites right now, would be killed or injured if they were to end up between those buoys and those rocks. So they're obstructing their ability to enter into the water. We need to think about why are they living in a structure that is an artificial rock wall that's been put here, and that's simply because of the state of the moana, the state of the island in terms of predators. There's just so many threats for them already that this is the safest place that they have to live. And so now not only are they living within this refugee camp, but now they're actually they've got a war zone on their doorstep as well. They're not stopping works. The problem is that the developers, what they do is they hired a consultancy company that has an ecologist that's renowned for dancing around resource consent. So that ecologist and penguin expert provides these reports that get submitted to council, and then council signs them off so that construction can go ahead. So what happens is they're focusing in on 2 sites that they believe that you know, a few penguins will be affected. And that's that whole Western science way of potentially like looking at this to allow big construction to go ahead, is we'll just zone in on exactly where these penguins are going to be affected. But what we're trying to say is that it's about the modi of the whole bay, it's about the biodiversity and the life, all of the life that lives within this bay. And if you're driving piles into the ground the length of this breakwater, it's going to affect all of the kororā that are living here. But we've identified 35 different species within this bay, and yet everyone's only talking about the kororā, and the kororā is definitely an indicator species, and it's drawing a lot of attention to this issue that's going on. But in a moana that's just like on the verge of ecological collapse, and while our government has declared, you know, a climate emergency, and then the Hauraki Gulf Forum, which is part of Auckland Council, releases all of these reports for the last 20 years telling us the moana is dying, and talk about, you know, the importance of limiting ocean sprawl, and then we're seeing this in a community that's been fighting it for 5 years in the court. It's just insane. We need to be thinking about a different way that we're interacting and valuing with our environment.